There's no doubt that one of the most beautiful things about bicycles and riding a bicycle in general is it takes you back to that essence of when you're a kid and the first time you get on a bike and it's kind of wobbly and you're not quite sure if you're going to stay upright, but wow, you're flying. You basically are flying. I think that's what we're all after when we ride a bike, is some sort of return to our first bike. I so desperately wanted to ride a bicycle, and I was the last kid in my class to learn how to ride a two-wheeler. I remember in kindergarten, we used to have all these bikes and trikes, and everyone would go run and grab all the bikes, and I'd run over and grab the tricycle. I was the only kid who could. I've been trying to make up for that ever since. I had a fascination with bikes from the first time I got on one. Never really knew that you could actually make these things. I mean, you know, it's like everything you imagine that they come out of some, you know, space age factory somewhere or something like that. And it wasn't until I was working in a bike shop probably 15 years ago, and there was a jig, which is a fixture to hold the bike and kind of put it together. And I started to realize, oh, you know, somebody actually makes these things. And I wonder what that would be like. Just wondering, you know, like what happens if you pick up a couple of basic tools and just, can you make a bike and then ride it? That was a revelation. I mean, the fact that, you know, with a couple of tools and some creative thought, you could kind of make this thing that you could now ride around the world or ride in a race or ride on your trails or whatever it was. And I just fell in love with that immediately. It's interesting, when I'm talking to a customer, one of the first conversations we will have is I will ask them, what experience do you want to have on your new bike? Because to me, often, especially in a world where we're marketed so heavily on the product, we don't have to make a certain type of bicycle. I want to make the right bicycle for you. And I think that's a really important difference. So with every new bicycle, I mean, it always starts with that relationship with the person who wants it. Hopefully, if they can come here to Quadra Island, that's the best. I mean, because this is a destination on its own. We'll definitely do a fitting. I mean, that to me, that's where you marry man and machine. So I have a whole fit bike here where I can actually have someone sit on it and we can adjust it and we can play with all different kinds of sizing and make sure that it fits them, you know? People are really craving this return to knowing the person that made that object for you. And the truth is, on one bike ride or over a couple of beers, suddenly that person sort of opens up to me. They're kind of laid bare in a way, especially when you're sharing something that you both have a passion over. And it just makes the decisions that I have to make so much easier. When it comes time to actually pick the tubes or pick the gearing that they might need or the tire size that they want, I don't have to think about them anymore. They just present themselves. I think the most important thing about a bicycle is that it is something that you want to get on and ride. If you want to get up every morning and ride your bike, the bike that I've built for you, I've done my job.